Fantastic. So you also talk about how a media like OOH can influence the subconscious mind, right? Because you typically look at say digital or performance marketing, and you assume that everything is digital, but really, I think you really talk about this very interesting concept of real world experiences, right? I read a lot of stuff that you talk about since the time you started moving walls, which is to say, hey, I'm in the business of actually looking at real world experiences and finding ways to measure them in a platform and a data led way is really what I think you're given an interview a long time back. So how do you think uh, a media like what you are trying to consolidate and make it into a platform, how do you believe it can influence the subconscious mind?
Okay. No, there are two or three aspects to this, right? If you just take the consumer experience of a subconscious mind, then I would say it's probably the ability to deliver content in a relevant manner, relevant to that location. That has a massive influence of subconscious mind. Even to take a simple example of, again, for a movie, which was called, the the Bullet Train movie. What we did in all places in India, interestingly, is when you got off a station in Delhi or Mumbai, not only did the trailer run, but it also had where is the nearest theater where it was playing and what was the next show timing. So now you've got some interesting content that's relevant to me. I'm getting off a train station, whatever it is, Dadar, whatever. And it reminded me that the nearest theater where it was playing, right? So to me, that's how you could influence. So that's one part of it. The second is by selecting the right locations at the right time, even if you did not have the dynamic content that is being delivered, but just being in the right locations at the right time, then means you're reaching the right audiences, which would resonate much better with them, right? So I think that's probably the second aspect of it. Now, if you take data science to another scale, um, then what you could do is to start building what is called as incremental reach, which means that I am reaching certain, and frequency into the game. At what point in time do I stop advertising in Mumbai airport or in New York airport? And at what point in time do I go to Times Square or any other location? Is dependent on the saturation curve in terms of within a week or 10 days or 15 days, you start seeing a saturation curve and you start seeing a frequency increase. So you start deciding where your money is spent by reaching the maximum reach that you could get, either at a media level, which is at, let's say, an out of home or a digital out of home level, or you could turn that around and say, can I now marry that with Facebook? Can I marry that with Twitter or whatever? And how do I find audiences that I'm not able to reach in these channels in locations? So it's a whole set of data science that you could bring into play with dynamic content triggers that would make it relevant for shaping the subconscious mind.